Hannity, O'Shaughnessy.
How the hell is Sean Hannity shaping media direction?
I'll put Mr. Burgess up against Sean Hannity. He'll tear him up.
The Sean Hannity Show starts right here, right now.
Right, Conservative Underground, Conservatism in Exile. Glad you are a part of it. 800-941-SEAN is our toll-free telephone number. 3 hours a day, every day. It's all we ask as we unite together to push back socialism. There was a great moment yesterday with Congresswoman Michele Bachmann taking on tax cheat, turbo tax cheat Tim Geithner. Here's what happened.
What provision in the Constitution could you point to give authority for the actions that have been taken by the Treasury since March of 2008?
Oh, well, the Congress legislated in the Emergency Economic Stabilization Act a range of very important new authorities.
Sir, in the Constitution, what in the Constitution could you point to give authority to the Treasury for the extraordinary actions that have been taken?
Every action that the Treasury and the Fed and the FDIC is been using authority granted by this body, the Congress.
And in the Constitution, what could you point to?
Under the laws of the land, of course.
And if I could move to the Federal Reserve Chair, if you could point to what provision in the Constitution would give authority to the Federal Reserve. This has been over $10 trillion that we're talking about.
I don't know where $10 trillion comes from. The Congress has the right to authorize funds, which is what they did in the TARP program. And they have given us, in the 1930s, they gave the Federal Reserve the power for emergency lending as a means of addressing financial crises, which is what we've done.
All right, Michele Bachmann, the Congresswoman, joins us. Congresswoman, thanks for being with us.
It's an honor, Sean. Thank you.
You know what was clear to me? He didn't get what you were pointing out. He didn't understand the question.
That's right, and neither did the Federal Reserve Chair, although I think he understood a little bit more than Tim Geithner, because they aren't acting under the Constitution of Authority. They are acting on their own authority, and they're creating new powers at a clip we have never seen before in the history of this country.
Well, I tell you, the reason I wanted you on, Congresswoman, is because I'm a little concerned. I wish more congressmen and congresswomen and senators would be speaking out the way you are here. And unfortunately, they haven't been. Well, let me ask you, generally speaking, because I think we're watching the biggest power grab, not only in spending, which, again, is unconstitutional. This was not the intention of our framers and founders to spend money this way and to create a cradle-to-grave society. If anything, we know that is the antithesis towards prosperity, which we've all enjoyed. But this power grab to cap executive pay, not just for banks and Wall Street's firms getting funds, but other companies. This request for power to seize firms that they choose to seize. You know, this reconciliation debate that's going on, rather than having an up or down vote on nationalized health care and cap and trade. All of this is a violation of the Constitution.
It's all in violation. It's even bigger than that. There's also a clip yesterday when I spoke with Geithner and also with Bernanke, and I asked them whether they would categorically denounce moving to the United States to a global currency. As you know, Russia and China have both called for rejecting the dollar in favor of a global currency. I asked them both. They both said they would categorically denounce. Today, however, Tim Geithner, Treasury Secretary, at a meeting of the Council on Foreign Relations today, contradicted what he told me in committee yesterday. He said today he is open to the China proposal of putting the United States into global currency. This is very, very concerning to me. And he said the continued use of the dollar as a reserve currency depends on how effective we are in the United States at getting our fiscal system back to the point where people judge it as, quote, sustainable over time. I am very nervous. I have a resolution that I brought up to Republicans today in Congress. I got about 20 signatures so far to reject a global currency by the Obama administration and Tim Geithner. It looks like they may perhaps, since they caught the Treasury Secretary off guard today at the Council of Foreign Relations, the Obama administration, despite their protestations, appears to be open to a global currency.
Explain why that would be dangerous.
It would be very dangerous because then we would not be the determiners of the value of the worth of our monetization, our money. We go by the dollar. We have the ability to determine the value of our dollar. Look at Zimbabwe. They print $1 trillion notes that are essentially worthless because that economy isn't run well. Our economy has troubles right now, but we do not, under any circumstances, want to go go into a global currency. But today, our Treasury Secretary, Tim Geithner, said he would be open to such a proposal after yesterday telling me in committee categorically the answer would be no.
Well, then, one has to ask the question. Now, we know that he's lied before. We know as it relates to the issue of AIG bonuses, we found out since that he is the architect of the plan, and the White House's timeline that he only knew about it March 10th is a lie.
That's right.
We have congressional testimony where he said a week before that he had known about it because he was questioned about it by a congressman. So, as I want to go back to this original question. So that they're now talking about a global currency or laying out the possibility of being open to it. They want the power to cap salaries of executives, and these are companies that have nothing to do with bailouts. They want the power to seize firms through the Treasury Department. They are now literally retroactively taxing people if there's enough anger to tax them and isolate people and use the power of government to go after individuals. One has got to be concerned. I mean, if this is not the road to socialism, I don't know what it is.
Well, it's not only is it the road to socialism, Sean, this is economic Marxism. This is a president who declared he wanted to bring us together. He has brought more division in America than I believe any other president, because he is moving the United States away from free market capitalism, and instead he's imprinting socialism deep into our centralized economic planning. That's where they want to go. But even more than that now, they're moving into what appears to be a super international authority in decision-making. And when you give your dollar over, your economic freedom over to a supranational authority, you can kiss your political freedom goodbye as well, because economic freedom goes hand in hand with political freedom.
Well, I got to tell you, it is inspiring to hear you say all of this.